Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of 4 Wolves Takes for your boy. Artis Woods will bring you 4 fresh Minnesota Timberwolves takes. It's a pleasure and an honor, like always, to be in front of you guys today to talk some Minnesota Timberwolves basketball. The time we have waited on for a good minute now is officially upon us. It is the start of the regular season. And unfortunately, the Wolves didn't get off to a good start. But I'm not tripping. And no one else should be tripping. Because it's game 1 of 82. So these takes today, granted, they're takes that I have from the first game of the season. Just some thoughts, some ideas. One thing that kind of was frustrating for me to watch and observe, sitting at home watching the game, right? These takes are about that, but again, nobody's tripping off of one game, man. Nobody's tripping off of one game. Nobody's overreacting. Again, I'm here for the real takes, not the hot takes. I'm not finna sit up here and say, oh, the Wolves are not gonna make the playoffs because they lost game 1 to the Lakers. It happens. So the best teams in the world lose the first game of the season, bounce back and have immaculate seasons, man. All right. But like I said before, I did notice something that did frustrate me. So let's get to that right away. Let's get that out of the way right away. Take number 1. Bruh, coach. Come on, coach. Come on, coach. Now, I'm not there. I'm not there every day. I'm not at practice. You know what I mean? All I see is what y'all see. Preseason and summer league. First take of the day, Coach Finch needs to use the Wolves' young talent. Again, Coach Finch needs to use the Wolves' young talent. I don't understand. And again, I'm not Coach Finch. I'm just somebody, a fan, watching from home. As somebody watching from home, though, I don't understand how Rob Dillingham doesn't touch the floor in this game. You traded up for this guy. You brought him in to be a playmaking guard, a scoring guard. You're in this game, first game of the season. Obviously, the energy and the effort is not there. And I'll get to that in a second, too, right? The Wolves are a little flat. You're going through these stretches where you're struggling to score points, and the Lakers are kind of running it up. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, he's gonna throw Rob out there to kind of get it going again. He's going to bring a different level of energy, a different level of playmaking. He's going to be able to score the ball and kind of, help them maybe get back in this game a little bit. And to my shock, Rob didn't see the floor. Now, I know we feel differently maybe about Terrence Shannon Jr. I personally think he's shown us enough in the summer league and in preseason to give him some tick too. We disagree on Minot. I said I'm not sure if Minot is going to see the floor like that for the Wolves. And a lot of people jumped in the comment section, which, again, I read, and said, hey, man, he earned his spot. He going to play. Oh, okay. Use one of them. Put one of them out there. Get these young guys an opportunity to showcase what they can do. You're at the point early in the season where these games matter, but they kind of don't. Like, you could lose some games to start the season and be just fine as far as seeding and everything is concerned, in my opinion. Again, it's game 1 of 82, right? So you're not in a position like you lose 2-3 games to start the season. It's not like the season is just going down the drain. This, if anything, is the perfect time to throw the young talent out there and see what you got. Now, granted, they're going to develop and you're going to see more down the line, but I'd rather give them a shot now and kind of see what I have, opposed to throwing them out there later when the games really matter. You're really fighting for that 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st seed in the West, right? And now it's just like you don't really know what you have because you haven't given them a decent amount of playing time. I mean, I look at the way that Mike Conley played in his first game. He was off. Anthony Edwards, I thought, played well, but efficiency-wise, he was a little off himself, right? DiVincenzo was a little off. Julius Randle, even though statistically, box score-wise, he played well, eye test-wise, he looked rusty, right? So I'm looking, I'm like, I didn't understand why none of the young guys that we saw in the preseason or in the summer league didn't get an opportunity to showcase what they could do, right? We saw the rookies for the Lakers come out there and play, right? We saw Dalton connect. A lot of you a lot of us didn't want to see Bronny. Bronny was out there for 3 minutes. And I know that's a story for another day. And that's something different. But Connect was out there, right? I don't understand why Dillingham. I don't know. That was frustrating for me. I have high hopes for Dillingham. I know he's a rookie. I know he's young. I know he may be a defensive liability at some point. But one thing I know he could do, facilitate and score. I know he could push the pace and bring some energy. I know he's got that stuff in the bag. So for the game to be going the way it was going, I just don't understand why the young guys wasn't put out there. And again, I'm a fan of Terrence Shannon Jr. I really think Terrence Shannon Jr. can play. And I think given the opportunity, he could have an impact on this team. I know a lot of people say, I don't think he's going to get any playing time. I think he should. I don't know why not? Why not? That was just frustrating for me, man. You can't be afraid to play these guys. I'm not saying Finch is afraid to play him. Again, he knows more than I know. Obviously, I'm not there. He sees things I don't see, right? Maybe he saw something in practice. Maybe he just decided this matchup just wasn't the matchup for them to play. Man, who knows the actual reasoning behind it, right? But when you're talking about energy and effort and things of that nature, and that's one thing that you're drilling home in the press conference after the game, you would think, get some young guys out there. I guarantee they're going to bring some energy and I guarantee they're going to bring energy and effort. If it's one thing they're going to do, they might make some mistakes, but they're going to play hard because they are young. They're rookies. And you're going up against the Lakers, LeBron and Anthony Davis. Of course they're going to play hard. I don't know, man. That was frustrating for me. And one of the biggest reasons why, and I'll move on to the next take, but I also want to say this, in the offseason, I kind of floated the idea out there that, hey, if you're going to trade Karl-Anthony Towns, we should trade him for a star guard. I'm not going to bring up any more names. Y'all didn't like the names I brought up before. I'm not going to bring that up. But I'm like, you should trade him to get a star playmaker, a star guard. Now, DiVincenzo is great, but when I was talking about a star guard, I was thinking about an all-star level point guard, an all-star level guard you could bring in here to help play make and facilitate and score in this offense to play alongside Anthony Edwards. If you make that trade at that time, he's going to play. It's like when you made the trade just now, you still ended up trading Karl-Anthony Towns, but you got Julius Randle back and you got DiVincenzo back. Those guys are going to play, especially Randle because he's an all-star caliber player. You're not going to bench him. He's going to play. So if they'd have traded for a playmaking guard, which I'm not saying it was a mistake to not do it. I'm just saying, speaking out loud here, talking to y'all, just having a conversation. Game one, just my thoughts. If you traded for a playmaking guard initially that was all-star caliber, they'd have been on the floor. But if you don't make that move and you draft a young guy, you're more inclined to sit that young guy to start the season. He hasn't developed yet. He hasn't earned his stripes yet. Whatever the case may be. In defensive liability, whatever the case may be. We haven't seen him at this level yet. There's more reasons to sit him. And honestly, with this team, I don't want to see too many offensive lapses. I think you got too many weapons, if used, that you don't have to deal with these offensive lapses. Game 1 of 82. Just my thoughts. The most frustrating thing from the first game of the season. Number 2. We need to be patient with Julius Randle. Be patient with him. The man has not played basketball in months. The man dealt with a shoulder injury that sidelined him for forever, it seems like. And he's rusty. Now, again, you look at the box score, and the box score tells you a different story than what the eye test tells you. The box score tells you he played pretty well. But when you watch him, you could tell the Julius Randle that we know, the all-star caliber player that we know, was not there. He was not there against the Los Angeles Lakers. He is working off some rust. I think he's still getting his feet under him. I think he's still, maybe even getting in basketball shape. Sometimes when you're coming back from an injury, it takes you a little bit of time to get back in that basketball shape. You know what I mean? And you can't simulate that in practice. You know what I mean? Maybe he felt great in practice, but then in the game, it's like, man, it's just different. It's a different feel out there than it is, in practice. So it's a quick take. I just think we need to be patient. I think Julius will be fine as the season progresses. You know what I mean? I think he'll be just fine. We'll see the Julius that would take over games with the Knicks, with the Wolves as well. I think he's got great relationships with the players, a great relationship with the head coach. I think as fans, we got to understand it's just going to take him a little time. I think you can win games with him working off this rust. I think you will win games with him working off this rust. So I don't think it'll hurt you too much, right? It'll just be when he finally gets to where he needs to be, where he wants to be, the Wolves will be able to just take that next step and really dominate, in my opinion. But it's just going to take him a little time. That's one takeaway I had watching him in the preseason. That's one takeaway I had after game 1. Give him some time. Julius will be just fine. Take number 3 on the day. Energy and effort will not be a consistent problem. Now, I got Rudy up here because Rudy spoke on it. Coach Finch alluded to it. I said it to start the show for the most part when I spoke about putting your young talent out there and giving them an opportunity to, kind of right the wrongs, for lack of a better phrase, as far as bringing energy and effort to the table. You know what I mean? It won't be a consistent issue for the Wolves. I still think this team is gritty. I still think this team is hungry. Sometimes the first game of the year is like that, especially when you got a lot of new pieces. You got a few. Well, you didn't play the young pieces, but you got a few young pieces. You got some veterans that you added. You traded away a big time piece, right? And so it's going to take some time to get that chemistry and stuff down. And I also think that plays a part, in a way, as crazy as it sounds, that plays a part into the energy and the effort as well at times too, because it's hard to play hard and fast, right, when you just don't know where a guy's going to be on the floor, offensively or defensively. You know what I mean? Like, it's a little harder to do. It's a little tougher to do. And so I don't think this will be a consistent problem for the Wolves. I think this is I'm not going to call it a one-time thing because this happens throughout the course of a season. It's going to happen again. But I watched that game and I'm like, yeah, I'm not worried about that. If there's anything I'm not worried about, it's the energy and the effort level from this team. This team knows the expectations. They have NBA Finals aspirations, hopes, dreams, all of that. They have a great young leader in Anthony Edwards who was pushing them in this Laker game. I mean, Anthony Edwards, I think he got the vibe too and was like, look, I'm about to start pulling. I'm about to just shoot. Because it's like where we at with it? You know what I mean? Like, they got a great young star. I think is going to take a great leap this year in Anthony Edwards. And so I just think they have, and great coaching, I think they have a great foundation to where this won't be an issue going forward. Every blue moon it might pop up. I'm hoping it don't pop up, I'm hoping not even really every blue moon, because I feel like later on you're going to need a lot of these games against teams where energy and effort might be lacking. But all in all, man, that take is just, I've heard a lot of people talk about the energy and the effort. There was no energy. There was flat. They were. But they'll be all right. I don't foresee that happening for a while. Let's just put it like that. I think this team will be fine. And last take of the day, man. Quick episode for y'all, because like I said, we only got one game, and I'm not the type to reach for takes. I'm just not the type to reach for takes. We got a whole 82 game season in front of us. I'm not the type to do that. So last take of the day, simple take for me. I think the Wolves will go 3-0 over their next 3 games. I think they go 3-0 over their next 3 games. When I look at the Timberwolves schedule, which I'm pulling back up right now, the Timberwolves have the Kings today, 9 o'clock. They have the Raptors after that at home, and then they got the Mavs at home. And then I'll probably be right back in front of you guys, depending on if I got to run something over the radio. Who knows? I'm a producer behind the scenes. So depending on, if there's anything to run on that Wednesday, I will probably be back in front of you guys before they end up playing the Nuggets on Friday. If not, it'll be after Friday, and I can recap that game for you guys as well. I'll give takes from that game as well. But just looking at the next 3 games, man, I like what the Kings have done in the offseason, adding DeMar DeRozan. I'm not going to act like that's not an addition that is, honestly, might have been the best offseason addition when it comes to just star power and when it comes to, a player that is hungry to win, a player that can close, mid-range assassin. We know what DeMar DeRozan brings to the table. But I do think they're going to have to work off some rust and some chemistry issues, just like the Wolves. I think the Wolves are going to come into that game hungry to get a win after they just lost to the Lakers. They are a team that knows how to bounce back. It's a different team than it was last year, but I believe in the Wolves' ability to bounce back after a game that they not only lost, but a game that they lacked energy and effort. That's a different type of loss, because it's like, man, if we'd have just brought the energy, we probably would have won. Then after that, you got the Raptors. I think they handle business. It is the home opener. It's the home opener this year. You don't lose to the Raptors at home. I don't think that's going to happen. Not the first home game of the year. And then after that, man, you got your revenge game. Early revenge game against the Dallas Mavericks. Luka, Kyrie. Klay Thompson. Opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to get a little get back. Now, this is not a game to get you to the finals, right? But it's still a little, hey, y'all knocked us out of the playoffs. We want to see about y'all. Now, like Anthony Edwards said on Starting Five, he might not call nobody out. But mentally, I'm sure, yeah, they see the Mavs on the schedule coming to Minnesota. It's a little extra juice behind that one. It's a little extra juice behind that one. So I think coming off of this Lakers loss, I think the Wolves bounce back in a big way. None of my thoughts have changed as far as what I think they will accomplish this year. I still got them being the number 1 seed. I still got them winning 60 games. I got high expectations because I feel like I know what this team can do when they are clicking on all cylinders. Once they get this chemistry down, once Julius Randle was able to work off this rust he has and everything kind of falls in place, I think the Wolves will be just fine. I think they'll be just fine. So no worries, no concerns. Again, it's game 1 of 82. Make sure y'all tune into tonight's game. I'm predicting a solid dub. All right, a solid dub. That's all I have for y'all today, man. That's all I got for y'all today. Again, quick episode. Actually, I don't know how quick that was. It felt quick. You know, time flies when we having fun. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of 4 Wolves Takes. Let's get the ball rolling. It's early, Wolves, but let's get the ball rolling. I'll catch y'all next time.